Our guys visited West Loft the other day, checking in on a team that didn't get to play much last year, only 6 games total thanks to COVID issues. They have talent on the roster and guys like George Karlaftis, who talked to Joshua and started by asking what the team is doing on the field and in the weight room to try to finish games better.
Joined now by George Karlaftis, outstanding defensive lineman for Purdue. You just wrapped up camp pretty much, had your first day of classes today. What do you think the biggest thing that your team achieved during camp was?
Just, obviously we came off of a really hard offseason strength and conditioning program. So I think, on both sides of the ball, just getting better at finishing plays. That's been kind of the overarching theme this offseason. And, leading into the season is finishing games because we're really close. We've been really close really for the past couple of years. So capitalizing on that and just finishing. So I think we've gotten better at that.
Being close and finishing and getting better at those things, what are some of the things that you're doing on the field and in the weight room to make sure that you can finish out those games?
Yeah, well, we've had probably the most 2-minute drills we've ever had, doing stuff like that. And then the weight room this offseason has been so difficult. I mean, just from the strength standpoint, the conditioning standpoint, just the meetings, the walkthroughs, just everything went up a notch in terms of intensity. We brought in some great coaches on both sides of the field, of the ball. And, they've helped in our development, so we're really excited.
And a part of that development has to be some player leadership. Obviously, You're one of the guys on the defense who is going to be a leader. Who are some of the other guys on the team that you see stepping into leadership roles?
Yeah, well, on the defensive side, there's been some guys along the line like Branson Dean and Lawrence Johnson, some older guys, Corey Trice, Jalen Alexander, Cam Allen, and, just a bunch of other guys. We have some veterans on the defense, and we're really excited. On the offensive ball, obviously Jackson Anthrop, both Aiden O'Connell and Jack Plummer. Payne Durham has been great. Greg Long has been great. We have a bunch of guys, and it's not just a one guy leading the whole show. It's kind of strength in numbers, if you will.
Definitely. As you kind of look at what went on during camp, evaluating your defense, is there an identity that you have seen that
aggressive?
Formed?
We're aggressive. We're attacking. We're making big plays. We're getting to the quarterback. We're creating turnovers. I mean, everything. That's who we are.
I'll get you out of here on this one. Seems like everybody in the Big Ten this year is kind of starting off fast. You got some big games early on in the season. Did your approach to training camp or your approach to practice change at all in preparation for some of those big games?
I wouldn't say so. We treat every game like it's the biggest game we have, and we play one of the toughest schedules, if not the toughest in the country, and we like playing the toughest schedule in the country, We play the best opponents every week, and we know we're not going to have any gimmies, so we're really excited.
We really appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
David Bell has 15 touchdowns in his limited time playing college ball. Only Chris Olave has more than Bell among Big Ten wideouts, and Olave is a senior. Earlier this week, Howard caught up with the big-time offensive playmaker for Purdue.
Pleased to be joined by wide receiver David Bell. What are some of the things that you wanted to work on this offseason coming into camp?
The number one thing that I really empowered into myself to work on was just being able to beat press man coverage. I haven't been the best at it, but I haven't really struggled at it. But I definitely knew if I can work on that in the offseason, that my game will elevate a lot.
What was one of the things that kind of told you that's where you needed to go and improve? Because you're an outstanding player, unbelievable. Yeah. But you still have the discipline to know what you needed to get better with. What was it that said you need to do it?
I think just looking at top receivers in the NFL, just looking at those guys to just see how they create separation. And even when Rondell was here, the amount of separation he created, and I'm just trying to get that into my game also.
How's the game changed for you since you first came through these doors?
It's changed a lot. It became a lot slower, when you just coming out of high school, playing in the Big Ten is fast-paced. But I think over the years, understanding more defenses, actually knowing what everyone does on the field at any given time, it slows down a lot for you.
What kind of leader would you call yourself?
I'm more of a lead by example, but these last few weeks, starting in the summer, I've become more of a vocal leader, talking to the receivers, just telling them what to do, like what's right and what's wrong. And, all those guys listen to me because, eventually they want to be where I'm at one day.
Veteran quarterbacks in a bit of a battle.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to pick one, but give me some of the things that they're doing, both doing well.
Both Aiden and Jack, they're playing their butts off. Both those guys have their very unique talents. Plummer's more mobile in the pocket, and Aiden's more of a pocket passer. But whoever Coach Brohm decides to start, they both have the locker room, so we're going to be behind them 100%.
Couple of keys for success for this team this year.
Staying healthy. I mean, if you know us, we have the thing of being hurt my freshman year when Rondell going down and Sindelar going down, and last year we had a few guys hurt and COVID and things like that. I just think the main thing is we need to stay healthy, believe in ourselves, and just play 100% every play.
This would be the last one. What would it be like to be playing in front of fans again?
It's amazing because I think last year was the first time since maybe first grade that I really didn't have any fans. So it was definitely a little awkward. It gave me kind of scrimmage vibes. But just walking around campus, like today was our first day of class, and I already knew that September 4th is going to be a packed-out stadium.
Well, thanks a lot for your time. Have a great season.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, here's a look at Jeff Brohm and his first 2 seasons versus the last 2. They sure were a better product those first couple of years. It just wasn't the same the last couple seasons, winning only 6 games combined the last 2 falls. Got work to do and changes are coming. Jerry is with the head coach.
We're visiting with head coach Jeff Brohm. Coach, like about half the teams in the conference, you're involved in the quarterback competition. What ordinarily separates the starter from the rest of them?
We feel like we got a good quarterback room. A lot of guys that have worked extremely hard, that are capable players. Jack Plummer, Aiden O'Connell, Austin Burton, even Michael Alamo. Those are 4 guys that have done a very good job through spring practice, through fall camp. A couple of those have played significant snaps for us. I think it comes down to decision-making, accuracy, toughness, leadership skills, and being able to get the offense in the end zone. But we feel comfortable whoever we have out there, and it wouldn't shock me if we play multiple quarterbacks.
You've talked to your offseason about improved run game that usually talks about or is directed towards the offensive line. How have they progressed during camp, and do you feel you're ready to play with that group this year, maybe more so than some groups in the past?
I believe our offensive line has done a good job this camp. They play hard, they work hard. We've got to help them out as a play caller and as a team and try to have some more balance. So right now we feel good about the first unit. We've got to build the depth on the second unit, which has been an interesting thing that we've just got to continue to work through. But a lot of guys have worked hard. If we keep some guys healthy, we feel like we can get some yards on the ground. We feel like we can get some points. But I think in order to, have big plays, take shots down the field, you have to have a consistent running game, and we want to build on that.
You're organized a little bit unusual on defense. You have 3 co-coordinators. A lot of people have 2. Why'd you take that approach, and are you happy with the way it's unfolded during camp?
I like our defensive room right now. I really felt that we had a lot of experience, a lot of guys that have been there and done that, and Brad Lambert, Ron English, Mark Hagan, those guys have been former head coaches, coordinators, been a lot of great places, a lot of great programs. And I wanted to make sure we had a full collaboration in that room, including myself, of guys that wanted to put a plan together to help our team win, to take responsibility when things didn't go well upon ourselves, to find a way to get it fixed, to work together as a unit, as a staff, to put the best product on the field. But I think we've got great people. They care about our players. They're in it to help our guys play well and win football games. And right now it's just about going out there and playing football.
Just finished up here at Purdue's practice, first day of school, so we saw the coaches getting after the players a little bit. What's something that stood out to you?
It's a college football tradition. The first day of school, you never have a good practice. To me, I looked at the line of scrimmage. I think their defense is deep in talent. I think they've got really good players there. I think their defense overall is going to be better than it's been. Offensive line, I think they're better in regard to the starting group. I don't think they're as deep as they'd like to be. And Coach Brohm said the quarterback decision is going to be based on good decision, toughness, and leadership. And he hasn't made that decision yet. I'll be anxious to see what he says.
Yeah, my eyes kept going to number 5 on that defensive line, George Karlaftis, throughout practice. And, I mean, he was yoking guys up. Obviously a very physical player, but he also knew exactly where to be. You could tell he's been in this playbook. So I'm excited to see him, hopefully a full season of action there. And also the wide receiver talent. We look at some of these guys, David Bell specifically, one of the guys who's really stood out in the Big Ten. He looked really good today.